Please welcome Jonathan from Darlington. So, Jonathan, what do you want to do by this time next year?
This time next year, I'll be a published illustrator.
So, tell me a bit about your drawing. When did you start and when did you realise that you had a real passion for it?
I've always been drawing as far back as I can remember. And when I was around 10, I was diagnosed with Asperger syndrome and OCD, and at times when I was quite stressed, I think drawing was always very helpful to kind of escape from all the worries and stresses I had and just to relax.
We actually spoke to your parents about what it was like for you when you were younger. Let's take a look.
When Jonathan was about 8 years old, Mark and I realised that there was quite a serious problem going on. I was thinking there's something here is a bit unusual.
Jonathan used to do lots of weird and strange things. He would do things like walk backwards in the street.
He ended up having to turn around and around to get the direction correct, away from certain places that he didn't like.
He would do a lot of counting, so he would have these counting kind of procedures.
Jonathan was officially diagnosed with severe OCD, and that was just before he was finishing his primary school and taking his exams.
It was from then on that his OCD became quite severe and really took a hold of his life.
He couldn't dress himself. He couldn't allow anybody else except me to touch him.
It really was pretty crippling. It was at that point that he came out of mainstream school and went into education at a health establishment in Middlesbrough.
Altogether, he was there for 9 months. But for the first 3 months of him being there, he wasn't actually allowed to come home.
It was quite an upsetting kind of time.
Eventually, we did manage to find a hospital that did the cognitive behavioural therapy, and this was the turning point in Jonathan's life.
Jonathan's really done amazingly when we think of how bad he was at his worst point, getting back into mainstream school, leaving with 9 GCSEs, going on to college, passing 3 A-levels. It really is quite an accomplishment.
As parents, you just want the best for your child. And for Jonathan, if he can carve out a happy life independently, doing his art, well, that would be the best thing ever.
So it got quite tough for you when you were growing up, but you always had your drawing and your art.
Yeah, I would just create this imaginary world where I could just focus all that kind of like rogue energy in my mind into something that was productive.
Can we have a look at some of your illustrations? Because I think we've got some here. I mean, yeah, I love that. There was a sort of gasp from the audience of how beautiful they are. How old is this drawing?
This one I did earlier this year. I did that for college.
Are you thinking now a career in illustration would be lovely?
That would be incredible.
Yeah. So how are you going to do that?
Several months back, I met a local author and journalist called Peter Barron when I was nominated for a local award to do with young people. From that, he asked me to do some illustration for a new book of his. The story is all about overcoming prejudice of others. It's something great to be involved in, but it also means that I'm going to have to be able to produce these professional quality illustrations whilst going to college and doing the course I'm doing. It's like a very big transition from just doing something for fun or just because you've always enjoyed doing it to actually having this responsibility. And it's definitely a learning curve.
So, Jonathan, really, really good luck with that.
Thank you.
So, by this time next year, you will be a published illustrator. Good luck.
Thank you.
So, has Jonathan become a published illustrator? Fingers crossed. I can see you've got a book here, but did you do it?
I did. I'm a published illustrator.
Yay!
I'm glad it all worked out.
Well, Jonathan, let's have a look at how it all happened.
The last few months have been crazy. My college course had pretty much the same deadline as the time for Peter's book. I've had late nights, there's times when I thought there's no way I can do it. I've got to do everything for college and for the book illustrations this week.
Jonathan has had a lot of work to do. It was 15 pictures he had to draw for his book, but because he is such a perfectionist, he's drawn hundreds.
In the end, I actually managed to get it all done in time. Now I just can't wait to see the book actually printed. There we have it. It's incredible. It all looks wonderful.
Do you feel quite emotional?
Yeah.
Seeing it, yeah.
Yeah. This is actually a book with my pictures in it. This is a bookshop that I've been coming to since I was little. Part of me can't really believe it's all happening. The pictures that I've been drawing at home, now they're in an actual book and they're in an actual bookshop. Oh, wow. I just can't wait to see how people react to it.
You've done the whole drawing?
Yeah.
Really impressed.
Thank you.
I do think this is the start of something for him. He's a professional illustrator now.
Hello, Simon.
Yeah, sure, yeah. It has definitely shown that my OCD and my Asperger syndrome doesn't have to hold me back.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
We are so incredibly proud of Jonathan. I hope that this could be the beginning of his future career, and I couldn't love him anymore.
Isn't just complete, you smashed it out of the park. I only had a very quick flick through, but these illustrations are showstoppers. I mean, they're so beautiful.
Thank you. And I was really happy to hear when I sent Peter the first pictures that he said those pictures were what he was thinking when he wrote it. So that's the best possible response you can get as an illustrator, so I was happy with that.
Peter, can I just ask you, what's it like seeing him here?
He delivered magnificently, and what's great now is that it's gone on from that because he's an ambassador now for the North East Autism Society. We're going to schools together.
Are you really?
We're spreading the word about autism, and he's just doing a fantastic job beyond the book.
Wow, and I bet you never thought when you said yes to that...
No,
that it would lead on to other things.
No.
How's that been going into schools?
The last school that I went into was my old primary school, so it was just lovely being able to go back into there, see my old teachers, especially because they knew what it was like for me what I was like when things were at the worst, to see everything that's happened that's come from doing the book.
Well done, Jonathan. You're
Thank you.
So amazing. Congratulations on such a fantastic year. Give it up to Jonathan again.